Ooh, that looks tasty. Welcome folks, today the Hungry Gamer is back with another crowdfunding preview, and today we're talking about Grand Central Skyport, designed by Dan German with art by Andrew Bosley and published by 25th Century Games. And before I get started, please make sure you turn your Klingon subtitles, because if I make any mistakes in the rules overview, that is where you'll find the corrections. Also, I do need to point out that this is a prototype sent to me by the publisher and is still subject to change. I will also point out that I have some of the deluxe components here with the thick cardboard merchant tycoons here, and with some of the acrylic bits here and there. There are also miniatures for these balloons moving around, but they just don't look great with this top-down view. But with that said, this is a tableau building rondel style game in which you're going to be setting up airships in your tableau, trying to, well, score the most points. And as you're doing that, you'll be moving around this rondel, which is going to be how you obtain more cards and move various cards around in your tableau to be the best at scoring. Now, if you are not interested in how this game is played, and we'll jump ahead to my final thoughts, then you will go to the timestamp on the screen right now. For those of us still here, let's talk about how this game is played. Now, to do that, first I'm going to slide the whole board out of the way for a moment and place out what a tableau might look like. Because the first thing you're going to do is you're going to play a card that's in your hand into your tableau. And when you play it, you're going to place it all the way on the left or all the way on the right, and then do exactly what it says. So I could play this card right here, which says switch with any stack. And a stack simply occurs when you place the same color card next to the same color. So in fact, this would become a stack. And so it gets placed, and then you switch with any stack. So we'll just say that perhaps I would switch with this one right here. And that is the end of that. But maybe instead I placed this card down. Now this card says move 1 or 2 spaces. And so if I put it here, I could move 2 spaces, 1, 2, and now it's here. Or perhaps over here, I'm going to do it, and I'm simply going to move 1 space to there. And as you're going through, you'll also be gaining new stations that'll be coming into your hand, and you can also play those. And as those go out, you'll be able to place those out on the board as well. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the same color airship or airship stack next to the station that matches that color. Because what's going to wind up happening in the end game is you're going to go through all of your stacks, and you are going to multiply it by the number of cards in the stack. This brown one is wild, so in this case 1, 2, 3, times the number of stars, which in this case is 1, 2, 3. But because we're connected here, there is a 4th star here at the bottom. And if I had wound up, and you'll learn how to do this in a minute, put one of the tycoons here, it would be 3 cards times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. So in that case, that would be worth 15 points. And you'll wind up having a whole bunch of cards out here and moving them around back and forth as you go. There's also, as I just showed you, various merchant tycoons, which are going to have various powers, be they during the game powers, like right here, which is after you play any card that has tickets or a crate on it. So for example, if I played this card right here, you'll see it has the ticket symbol. And in my entire tableau, I have cards that have the compass symbol here. With 1, I could move any other stack 1 to 2 spaces. Or if I had 2, I could switch 2 stacks to simply do a reverse. Then if I have 3 of those, I'll unlock the end-game scoring. And most of them have something like that, though there are a couple that don't have end-game scoring conditions, but I won't get into the details of those. I will point out, though, that the wild cards, they all have an ability at the bottom that affects all the other players. So I'll get to place a wild resource here, but all other players can move any other stack, not myself. Now that was the first part of this. However, after you place your airship, you will notice that in the top corner, it has this number here. And what that's doing is that's telling you how many spaces around the rondel you can move. You can move up to 2 spaces as a result of this card right here, while this card right here would only allow me to move 1 space. Well, this one right here would allow me to move up to 5 spaces. And as you move around, you're going to go around clockwise, and a couple of things are going to happen. You'll stop somewhere, and if it has this little plus symbol, you'll take the card from the board into your hand. Or if you land on one of the side or down here, you'll have the opportunity to take another station into your hand, which you can then play out into your tableau, or take one of these tycoons, which, as I explained, will give you more scoring and various powers. You'll also see here and here, not only do you get the card, but if in your tableau you have a set of a crate, a compass, and a ticket, you'll take the top one of these tokens here, which will be worth points at the end of the game. And if over here you have all of the different colors in your tableau, you'll take the top one of the points right here. And you're going to play through the deck until somewhere towards the bottom you will come up with the station closing card. And when the station closing card arrives, you'll have another round, and then you will score. Whoever has the most points will be the winner. And so that's how this game works. So what do I like about this game? First thing is, I think the aesthetic and kind of the theming behind the game is great. I love the way it looks. I love this idea of the airships that you're moving around as you are kind of in your balloon, kind of sailing around the area, kind of telling things what to do and collecting things and picking up inventors, not called inventors. This is one of the specific ones. It'll say at the bottom what they're actually called. I really enjoy it. It's just all around clever. I love the way it looks. I love the inclusion they've put into it. It just... beautiful, beautiful game. I love that. I also like that it's a fast game that lets me deal with a tableau. You know I like tableaus. And it lets me deal with a rondel. And it puts those two things together in a very easy to play and delightful manner. So kudos there. Love all of that. I also like the core mechanic of the game of this placing down a card. And then that card's going to move somewhere, and you have to place it all the way to the right or all the way to the left. It's going to move somewhere, and it's going to kind of change up the makeup of your tableau. I think that just works really well. But what really makes it pop the most is the way the wilds work. Because sometimes you just want a card that you can put anywhere. But that's going to give all the other players at the table this power that they can use. And I think that just crushes it. I love, love, love the way that's going to work. I like the way that you're building up the tableau. You're getting your different cities out there, which will be more scoring opportunities and places to put the industrialists. Again, that's not the right thing. Check the bottom for what it's actually called. And along with it, you're picking different powers on them. I love the way those work because those choices are hard, but you definitely want to get them out there because that's going to give you more stars, which is more scoring, but that keeps you from getting the other airship card, which is also more scoring. There's a lot of stuff going on there that I really think works well. So, what are my quibbles with the game? And if it sounds like I'm going fast, it's because I'm looking at a flashing red light on my camera that says it's going to die on me. And so, it can be frustrating sometimes with the limitations of the movement. Sometimes, like, I just want to move the stack of reds one spot, and you just can't get the combination to make it happen, and it can be frustrating. To me, this is like a puzzle that fights back at you. It's like, no, you can't do this. And that can sometimes feel frustrating, and because of that, let me be clear, I think that's the kind of the core fun of the game, but you have to know your own limits, what's going to frustrate you, because there will be times where you just can't get what you feel you need. And then along with that, that does sometimes lead to a little bit of AP. If you are AP prone, you might find for a game that should be 30 to 40 minutes, you're suddenly spending a lot of time stopping and thinking, which this game doesn't call for. This game's at its best when it's just kind of cooking along and moving and moving and moving. And the last thing I'm going to say is, this game takes up a lot of space for its size. It really sprawls with your tableaus starting to go out on a relatively big board. But there you have it, folks. As always, if I made any mistakes on the rules overview, please let me know in the comments with the timestamp so I can get it down into Klingon subtitles. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, maybe become a channel member. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take that, battery! Ha ha!